You know your own self. I gotta stay on my 2 Corinthians 13:5. I gotta stay on my 2 Corinthians 13:5. Everybody say that they can't wait. Would you be ready if he came back today? You better take advantage of this grace and check your spirit before it's too late. And I examine myself every day, and I examine myself. Am I in the faith? I don't wanna be reprobate. I don't wanna be reprobate. Prove your own self. Don't you know your own self? To gain eternal existence, you gotta be consistent in keeping the laws of discipline from the scriptures and check your spirit. Be diligent, never fear it. The fire will make you pure. Be a doer, not just a hearer. Living in this critical error, straight from the laws, and that's a suicidal error. Get your mind right before the hour of terror. Procrastinate and be destroyed in your security. To save your life, you need to eat eggs and your mind. Sometimes I try to justify my sins, but no excuses will be heard in the end. Sometimes I try to justify my sin, but no excuses will be heard in the end. So I examine myself every day, and I examine myself. Am I in the faith? I don't wanna be reprobate. I don't wanna be reprobate. Prove your own self. Don't you know your own self?
Yeah, we're gonna read 16. Yeah. That's what the priest supposed to perform. So
Yes, yes, it is.
all right, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I can see that we haven't got any guests yet in the live lesson, but hopefully tonight you'll see this. It'll show up on your timeline or on your YouTube feed when you get an opportunity to settle in this evening. But tonight we're just going to go through a couple of things concerning the Day of Atonement and how the Most High wanted us to revere this day. The rules that we should follow at sundown tonight to sundown tomorrow night, just so everybody's well informed. So bear with us. We're not going to try to take that much time, but we're just going to just go straight into it. But first, let's pray right quick. All right. If your head is uncovered, sisters, please cover your head, and brothers, if your head is covered, please uncover your head. Ahaya, we just thank you for another year, Ahaya, as we make it to another day of atonement. Ahaya, I just pray for our sins, Ahaya, my sins. Ahaya, that you blot them out and let us start fresh. And Ahaya, just pray that you make us better as we go forward to the next day of atonement. Ahaya, help us take it one day at a time. Help us not to be so haste to do, I'm gonna say do righteousness, but so haste to start running Ahaya. Once we leave this day, I just pray that you allow us to take a steady pace, take it one day at a time, and just concentrate on what we need to do to be acceptable to you, and to try to be like our successor, your son Yeshaya. And Ahaya, I just thank you for your son, for allowing him to die on the cross, Ahaya, on the crucifix, on that son image, Ahaya. They just disgrace, our Savior by putting him on that thing, Ahaya. But I'm glad that he kept his promise, Ahaya, and he died for us, Ahaya, so that so we could be relieved from the curses. Those that choose to surrender to you. In Son Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. All right. Let's go to Leviticus. All right, this is the law concerning the Day of Atonement. Okay.
Right. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you. And ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High.
All right, we're supposed to afflict our souls. All right, as we go forward, you'll see that we no longer offer any animals, but we will definitely go into detail on how the priest would perform the act of blotting out the sins of Israel on this day. All right, on tomorrow, on the Day of Atonement. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall do no work in that same day.
Mm-hmm. You shall do no work. All right. It says that we shall afflict our bodies. All right. Our souls. Right. So let's go into that. Let's go to let's just go ahead and precept this thing. Go to Jubilees. All right. Let's go to Jubilees. Got it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I have to get my notes real quick. You got my Jubilee right here. Go to Jubilees chapter 5, verse 13 and 14. Verses 13 through 18.
Okay.
All right, so we're supposed to afflict our souls, right? All right.
Jubilees 5 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
And the judgment of all is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets in righteousness, even the judgment of all who depart from the path, who is ordained for them to walk in. And if they walk not therein, judgment is written down for every creature and for every kind. And there is nothing in heaven or on earth.
This is not where we need to be. Forgive me, y'all. Go to Jubilees 33.
30. Oh yeah,
33 and 1 through 16.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. 1 through 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the book of Jubilees, chapter 33. Verse 3. Hold on. This one?
Let me see what you got here. Three, 1 through 13. No, let me see. Let's continue with what was it.
Okay.
All right, let's just continue because I thought I had this wrote down. Forgive me, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse Leviticus 23 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Most High your power.
Mm-hmm.
For whatsoever soul it shall be, that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. And ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
All right, so you shall do no matter of work, all right, in that same day or any work. All right, if you have the ability to be home, rest. All right, we understand, like we talked about yesterday, we're in Babylon, and certain things, are put in front of us. Not so much stumbling blocks, but they encompass us the way we have to go to work. So just use wisdom and understanding when it comes to what you're supposed to do. That's between you and the higher. If you can take the day off, take the day off. But don't wait till the last minute and be like, I'm taking the day off, and then you get fired. That don't make no sense. You should have planned this ahead of time. Most people that meet with us or that are associated with us, there's a calendar in the group chat on Telegram. So you have the calendar, so you know what day it is. If not, you can do research. You can go look on other websites like GOCC's website, and you can find the date. All right, you can find all the holy days. So there's no excuse. Myself and others have put things in place for everybody to be successful concerning the law, to the best of our knowledge. All right, go ahead.
Verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings.
Mm-hmm.
It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest. Ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at even. From even unto even shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
All right, so this is a Sabbath unto us. All right, so you got to treat this like a Sabbath. All right, no TV, none of that. Nothing concerning the world. We're not supposed to be dealing with it. I know in my house, we ain't watching TV. It's just going to be silent in here. Probably going to drive the children nuts. They need to sit and just think like the rest of us. Now if you have a child and they're under the age of 12, that's, don't, if they don't want to participate or they can't, or they just don't have the understanding, please don't make them do an all day dry fast. I guess try to put some things in their body that's gonna clean it. Give them fruits and vegetables and things of that nature that'll keep them clean. And sisters, if you're breastfeeding, if you're pregnant, come on. We know you can't do that. Do a dry fast. So do not hinder yourself. Do not put yourself in harm's way medically. I don't think a higher would want you to do that. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's move forward. Let's go to Leviticus 16 right quick. Started verse number 1. All right. Start at verse number 1.
Leviticus 16 and 1.
All right. This we're about to read is what happens on the Day of Atonement. The high priest would have to perform a act to pretty much blot out the sins of Israel. So we're going to read some of it. We're not going to read all of it for the sake of time. So let's go ahead. Let's start at verse 1, my brother.
Leviticus 16:1.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
when they offered before the Most High and died.
Mm.
And the Most High said unto Moses, Speak unto Aaron thy brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place, within the veil before the mercy seat.
All right. So he said, because his sons went in there and they died. They weren't supposed to go in there because they were without blemish. Not without blemish. They had blemish, so they died. All right. Now check it out. Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto Moses,
Mhm.
Speak unto Aaron thy brother,
Speak unto Aaron thy brother. Check this out.
that he come not at all times into the holy place, within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark.
Yeah, which is upon the ark. Go ahead.
That he die not.
That he died not like his sons. Go ahead.
For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat.
Hmm.
Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering.
All right. So Christ was telling him that he would appear because the Most High is not appearing anywhere. All right. The Most High is on the throne and he'll talk in the pillar of the cloud, but he's not appearing. All right. He's not appearing. We gotta always define that when we teaching people. Because the Most High is not leaving the throne to come to earth until everything is renewed. And then the layers between us and the Most High will cease to exist, and he will come back down here. All right. He had to separate himself from us, completely separate himself from us. So he would destroy us. All right. Go here.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
He shall put on the holy linen coat,
Mm.
and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh,
Mm-hmm.
and shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mitre shall he be attired.
Oh, the mitre, there you go. All right, so you see brothers wearing the mitre. Hey, didn't Peter say we're supposed to be like royal priests unto Christ? All right, unto the Most High. All right, go ahead.
These are holy garments.
These are holy garments.
Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on.
So you got to clean yourself. You got to be clean when you go in there. All right, go ahead.
And he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering.
All right, so you're going to take 2 baby goats. Go ahead.
And 1 ram for a burnt offering.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron shall offer his bullock for the sin offering, and which is for himself,
Mm-hmm.
and make an atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats and present them before the Most High, at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Mm.
And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, and one lot for the Most High, and the other lot for the scapegoat.
One lot for the one goat for an scapegoat. All right, so a goat, all the sins of Israel are gonna go on this goat. All right, all the sins of Israel are gonna go on this goat. So just imagine how the people were doing. We see they show us pictures, not pictures. Old folks call them pictures. They show us a picture on TV, a program. We see our people over there in Africa, and when they be doing their rituals, we be looking at them like they crazy. But just imagine this day right here, when all of Israel out there, and they made it to the Day of Atonement. They made it to the Day of Atonement where all their sins would be cleansed. You know they was out there showing out. You talking about shouting. You talking about all that right there. All that stuff we think weird. No, they was giving it up. They was giving it up. They were giving it up on this day because they were extremely grateful. And we should be extremely grateful, that the Most High gave us the greatest of all time. All right, that we know he ain't no goat, he a lamb, but he is the greatest of all time, and that's Yeshua or Yeshua as a scapegoat to pretty much get rid of all the sins of Israel, so that we can have an opportunity to be adopted back to the Father. All right, you can read that in Galatians 4. I think we're gonna go there later. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. All right, jump down, bro, because it's gonna bam, 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 bam.
Yeah,
you can get this in your own time. All right, but we're gonna jump down to 20.
Verse 20.
Uh-huh.
And when he had made an end of reconciling the holy place, and the tabernacle of the congregation, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat, and Aaron shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over them all the iniquities of the children of Israel.
Wow. He was probably there for a day. All right, go ahead.
And all their transgressions and all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities unto a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. And Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall put off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. And when he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth, and offer his burnt offering, and the burnt offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people. And the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar. And he that let go the goat for the scapegoat shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward come into the camp. And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp, and they shall burn in the fire their skins and their flesh and their dung. And he that burneth them shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls.
There we go. You shall afflict your souls. All right, go ahead.
And do no work at all.
Do what? No work at all. Go ahead.
Whether it be one of your own country,
if it be an Israelite. Now check this out. If it be Israel, go ahead.
Or a stranger.
That's
your joint of the money.
All right. So if you're a Gentile, if you say you love Ahia, if you say you love this Bible, come on now, you better get with it. And especially Israel, y'all better get with it. Y'all gonna get splitted. I just made up a word. I know it. All right, go ahead.
Verse 30. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before the Most High.
All right, and we know who our priest is, Yeshua. He probably doing some stuff, getting ready now. All right, to put the blood on the altar. But he did it one time. He took his blood and put it on the altar. All right, go ahead.
It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls by a statute forever.
By a statute forever, go ahead.
And the priest whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office, is his father's stead, shall make the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments. And he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the congregation, and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priests, and for all the people of the congregation. And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once a year. And he did as the Most High commanded Moses.
All right, now there's sections in the scriptures where you had priests that went in there, and when they went in there, they dropped dead. So it was getting so bad within Israel, and I didn't get a chance to look that up and pull that scripture for us. But they were tying ropes around their waist. If they heard them drop, they would pull them out, and then somebody else would have to go in. Somebody got to make the atonement. Somebody has to make the atonement. But if you go in there and you sin it, boy, you're gonna drop. I'm gonna tell you right now, I couldn't walk in there. I'd be like, boy, what? Like, what you mean? I'd be like, ho. Yo, boy, I know I was wrong. So if can't nobody go in, what happens? Does all of Israel get put to death? Somebody would be chosen to go in there. I guess the Most High would find somebody without blemish to go and offer the offering. Somebody would be appointed. But I know that we had high priests that were faithful, fervent keepers of the law, and we always got to understand that we do have people within our nation that are upright. You know, we hear different people, even myself. We always talk about how bad we are. You know, the Most High says we are like Sodom and Gomorrah. We're worse than Sodom. But he always keep a few of us that are pure. And us that are not pure, we need to be trying to be pure. We need to work on that every day. All right. So let's go forward. Let's go to Numbers chapter 15, 20 through 29.
Right. Book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
You shall offer up a cake of the first of your dough for an heave offering, as ye do the heave offering of the threshing floor.
Mm-hmm.
So shall ye heave it. Of the first of your dough ye shall give unto the Most High, and heave offering in your generations. And if ye have erred,
check this out. If ye have erred,
and not observed all these commandments which the Most High hath spoken unto Moses, even all that the Most High hath commanded you by the hand of Moses, from the day that the Most High commanded Moses, and henceforth among your generations, then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor unto the Most High.
He said, what? If it not what? He said,
if aught be committed by ignorance, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor unto the Most High, with his meat offering and his drink offering, according to the manner of one kid of the goats for a sin offering.
Go ahead.
And the priest shall make an atonement for all this congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them.
Yep.
For it is ignorance, and they shall bring their offering, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Most High, and their sin offering before the Most High for their ignorance. And it shall
all right. So there's also that's what it's really about. It's about committing sins in ignorance. Ain't that so? All right. So there's also an offering for committing sins in ignorance. So we have to make an offering for sins that we commit and sins that we unwillingly commit that we don't know about. You know, like we was talking about the other day, you be like, hey man, I'm gonna come over there, and then you don't go. That's a sin.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you were doing it habitually, you know you're doing it, it's just a habit that you have, or you know, because we all do. We always tell people we're gonna do something, then we don't follow through. Sometimes we forget, you know, and then those times when we don't forget, we just don't do it. That's not ignorance. That's just flat out lying. So, you know, we as a people, we need to start being stand-up people anyway. We really have to do that. You know, like how the other nations gonna take us serious if we can't even take ourselves serious when we tell somebody or make an agreement or set a time or, you know, make a promise and we always breaking them. You know, it's not cool. All right, go ahead.
Verse 26. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel and the stranger that sojourneth among them, seeing all the people were in ignorance. And if any soul sin through ignorance, that he shall bring a goat, then he shall bring a she-goat of the first year for a sin offering.
All right, so this is a she-goat. Go ahead.
And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly.
All right, so this is a totally different offering. Like we said, like Aaron, the high priest, would make a offering with two kids, which are two goats. And just a little side note: don't call your children kids or your children goats. You know, Amalek got you calling your children goats, little goats. All right, hey, stop doing it. Call them what they are, they're children. All right. If somebody said you were the kids of Israel, how would you feel? Go ahead.
And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before the Most High, to make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him.
Okay, go ahead.
Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them.
Go ahead.
But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously,
Go ahead.
whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth the Most High, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Wow. It's scary. Hey, please don't cut me off. I know I have sinned purposely. If any of us out there ain't done it, please put it in the comment section. You know. Forgive me. Please don't cut me off. That's what the day is going to be all about. I know I'm going to be praying. I know I am. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a sinner. And worse than a nasty chicken dinner. Better believe it. All right. But I do my best. This is something that everybody needs to understand. You know, you still have to keep going. Can't stop. You have to keep going. And seeking righteousness and getting better every day. All right. The goal from the Day of Atonement to the next Day of Atonement is try your best not to commit the sin that you had an issue with the year before. Get better. Get better if it's eating too much. All right. If it's promiscuity, if it's among, in your mind, or, if you got a problem with any of that type of stuff, if it's lying, if it's stealing, if you dishonoring your parents, all right, if you put something before the Most High, ignorantly, not even knowing it, all right, we all need to look and examine ourselves tomorrow. If you're at work, still do your dry fast. Everybody don't have to know what you're doing. You just keep working. Don't go on break. Just try to work through it. All right. Let's move forward. All right, we're here, my brother.
Finish third.
You finished 30? That's good. All right, let's move to let's go to, I got Jubilees 33 and 12 down here. Let me I think I wrote down the wrong chapter.
I got it right to you too. Yes, I got to preset it right there.
33,
12 to 13.
Let's read that.
Did I go to the right?
No, you went to the right Roman number.
Yeah. 32.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's 20. That's chapter 20.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. 30 right there. You're right. 1 second. This is talking about Jacob, though.
All right.
Let's see. 33.
31. 32.
33, here we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Oh, I went
12,
down.
yeah.
He's right there. Okay.
For some reason, I wanted us to read the whole thing. And there was because of what it's talking about what Reuben did.
Right.
All right. If you read this chapter, it go into the uncleanness that Reuben did, to what's her name? Belha, right? He did what he did to Belha. He took her while she was intoxicated because he had a lust for her. All right, and then the scriptures go into in Jubilee, it gives us the reason behind the Day of Atonement and like what we're supposed to do that day. So go ahead, brother.
Yes.
Read 12 and 13 right quick.
This is the book of Jubilees, chapter 33, verse 12. And again it is written a second time, cursed he be who lieth with the wife of his father, for he hath uncovered his father's shame. And all the holy ones of the Most High said, so be it, so be it. And do thou, Moses, command the children of Israel that they observe this word, for it entaileth a punishment of death, and it is unclean, and there is no atonement forever to atone for the man who hath committed this.
Oh, so that's what that was about. That's the law. That's one of the laws that you can't atone for. If you do that right there, but you finished. Like that's nasty. Come on now. Come on now. Now, let me see something right quick. I had more on the atonement as well. Chapter 5. Go back to chapter 5 right quick in the Jubilee.
Okay.
Let me see something right quick.
Chapter 5.
Right there. Let me check it. Let me see. Just want to make sure it's written. No. I had that wrote down for something else. But I need to find the scriptures that I had that was showing, like, in the Jubilees, it went in more detail about what we ain't supposed to do. Like, like bathing. Yeah, no, not on the Sabbath, but on the Day of Atonement. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it said now. I've because in the Jubilees it go into it pretty much tackled it. You can't do nothing. You're not supposed to even brush your teeth. You're not supposed to wash tomorrow. Just make sure you take a bath before the sun go down. But you're not supposed to take a bath. So you need to be mindful of that. You're not supposed to drink any water. Not supposed to take a bath. You ain't supposed to do anything you're not supposed to do on the Sabbath. All right. And if you are at home, wear sackcloth. Find the worst clothes you got, put them on. The Most High really want us to go in and get in the dirt, sit in ashes, throw it on our head, and atone that way. Sit in it. Don't go nowhere. Just sit. Imagine most people couldn't do that today. They would lose their mind. They had to just sit in one place all day. Could you do it? Most of us couldn't do it. All right, but let's move forward. Let's go into what this day is really about. All right, because we know Christ is our atonement, right? Let's go into it. Let's go to Romans right quick. Romans chapter 5, verse 1. Y'all forgive me not having that scripture for y'all. I'm good. This thing be sticking. Being Matthews. I was in Acts, now I'm in John. All right, there we go. All right, let's go.
Romans chapter 5, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, being justified by faith,
go here.
We have peace with Ahia through our Lord Yeshua Mashiach.
Go here.
By whom also we have access by faith into this grace, wherein we stand. I can cut off.
Give me 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Shut up. And we do not need to be in the dark. All right. Back on. Okay, no. All right, Mike.
All right, Romans 5:1.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with the higher through our Lord Yeshua Christ, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand, and rejoice in hope of the glory of Ahaya.
Rejoice in what?
In hope of the glory of Ahaya.
What is the glory of Ahaya? Yeshua. Go ahead.
And not only so, but we glory in tribulation also.
Glory in what?
In tribulations also.
We glory in tribulations also. Go ahead.
Knowing that tribulation worketh patience.
See, tribulation worketh patience. All right. Because you got to think about this. The things that we, go ahead, it says in experience.
And patience, experience. And experience, hope.
All right. So we have to work patience. Because even though today is about Christ, it's also about how we treat one another. All right. Because it's somebody's done something, or you've done something to somebody. You need to get that right. Get that right. You know, get it right. If you don't get it done today, call tomorrow. Get it right. Confess your faults to your brother. All right, let's go and read that right quick. Go to James 5:6.
Yep. Book of James, chapter 5, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist.
5:16, excuse me.
5:16.
Mm-hmm.
Confess your faults one to another.
Confess what?
Confess your faults one to another.
What you think James is saying here? You need to go and tell, your brother and sister what you've done. Like, man, I've done this wrong. I've done that wrong. He's talking about, no, when you do something to somebody, you need to confess that you've done wrong. All right, we know when we do something wrong to somebody. All right, and we could go to Matthew 18. We always talk about that. You know, if somebody offend you, you're supposed to go to that brother. And then that brother come to you and he tell you did him wrong, and you know you did him wrong. What you supposed to do? Confess your faults to your brother. I'm wrong. All right, keep reading though.
And confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another.
And we're supposed to pray one for another, right? That's what it tells us. We was talking about earlier with the patience. All right, it says knowing that tribulation work with patience. All right, patience, experience. All right, because we all got to get experience. You know, when it comes to all things. All right, and also it says experience again. Said it twice, and then hope. So we have to pray. All right, go ahead.
Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another.
Yeah,
that ye may be healed.
That we what?
That ye may be healed.
And see, that's what it's all about. Ain't we talking about atonement? And atonement, that's what it is. It's being healed. All right. It is being healed. It's being relieved of something, fixing something. Right? That's what it's about, y'all. That's what it's about. And we must, if we can't understand this, then how can we say we keep the commandments? How can we say we keep the commandments? Because most of the commandments that we read, or most of the 10 commandments, is a statute, our statutes on how we're supposed to treat one another. And then how we're supposed to treat the Most High. Right? Are you Israel or are you Jacob? You got to choose which one you are based on what you do. All right, go ahead.
That ye may be healed.
That we may be healed. Because if somebody come and tell me I did them wrong, I'm listening. I'm not talking. Because I know I don't remember everything. So you got to listen. You got to be willing to, again, to lend the ear. Be patient. And over time, with patience, you'll gain experience. All right. So you'll have experience with if you've done somebody wrong that you're willing to tell them that you did it wrong. or you have experience on how to go and talk to somebody and tell them, hey man, you did this to me. All right. Let's go back to
I'm gonna finish 16.
Go ahead, bro.
It says the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
All right, so there you go. That's their hope. So we definitely have to be hopeful. And with hope, and with faith comes works. So you have to do what was done first. You got to confess, then you pray for one another. Just praying ain't gonna do nothing. Like we'll say, oh, well, I'm gonna pray for that brother. I'm gonna pray for that sister. But you can still do it, but if they ain't coming forth for that, and they ain't trying to fix nothing, how can with prayer just, I don't know, it's dead. Let's just tell you that faith without works is dead. All right, so we have to take that first step. And then it tells us in Matthew 18, same chapter, you confess your faults, get yourself together, come basically telling us, hey, you got to get yourself together. And if things don't work out, then whoever's wrong have to leave. And then it go into talking about how, okay, now that all y'all are together now that you're together and you on one accord, now I can start blessing you. Now the Most High gonna hear you from the throne. That's what Christ was saying. You got to be together. All right, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Romans 5:5.
Okay.
And hope maketh not ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
Because
hope what?
Maketh not ashamed.
See, you can't make your hope ashamed. Your prayer can't be ashamed if you're doing what you're supposed to do. Right? Go ahead.
Because the love of Ahia is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us.
Go ahead.
For when we were yet without strength.
And we were what?
When we were yet without strength.
Uh-huh.
In due time, Yeshua died for the ungodly.
See, that's the atonement right there. He died for the ungodly. Just like that goat that was sacrificed. So you had one that was sacrificed, and then you had one that was just thrown out into the wilderness, the scapegoat. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die.
So what now?
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die.
It says for what?
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die.
So it says scarcely. So it says most people won't die for a righteous man. All right. Most people, that's telling you something right there. That's the way it is in this earth. If you're righteous, don't nobody want to ride with you. You're like, hey, man, we're going to go do this. I'm like, I don't know, man. We probably going to get in trouble. All right. But if you say you're going to do something wicked, people will be ready they'll get in the car. They'll get in the car like right now. They're like y'all know the song, shh, be quiet. Tonight is the night that we ride. Song with news inside. With choppers. People are everybody was ready to ride with Juvenile back in the day on that song. That was the number one song probably in America, number one rap song that year. But somebody put a song out about doing something righteous, it won't get played. All right, I'm gonna be quiet. I always be thinking of stuff like that. That's an analogy. Go ahead.
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die.
Wow.
Yet peradventure for a good man, some would even dare to die.
Some would even dare to die. Go ahead.
But Ahia commendeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us.
Thank you, Ahia. Thank you. Go ahead.
Much more then, being now justified by his blood.
Being what?
Being now justified by his blood.
By this atonement. Go ahead.
We shall be saved from wrath through him.
We shall be saved through what?
From wrath through him.
That's Deuteronomy chapter 28. Because Deuteronomy chapter 28 ain't nothing but wrath. He's saving us from the wrath of who? The Father. Because this is wrath. We've been ravished. All right, completely ravished. And we can go on TikTok and all this other stuff. We can look at our people and what we're doing. All right. It's bad out here. And then we can look at ourselves. And how we pulling back scales and layers of ourselves And it's like, dang, every year I gotta keep pulling something back. But this is just how bad it's been since I've been living. You just pulling it out, trying to renew yourself. And you be like, man, it's another scale. God, dog. Whoa. Yeah, it's that bad. But we have to keep fighting. Have to keep pushing. All right. Oh, here.
Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
For if when we were enemies,
When we what?
When we were enemies,
Go ahead.
We were reconciled to a higher by the death of his son.
See, it said we were enemies. Oh, but we were reconciled. We was forgiven by the death of Yeshua. All right, go ahead.
Much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life.
We shall be saved by his life. All right, let's go to Ezekiel 7. Verses 22. God, look at that. I'm flipping went out with the Lamentations. Right before it. All right, go ahead.
Ezekiel 7 and 22.
Uh-huh.
My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place. For the robbers shall enter into it and defile it.
See, and this is what the Most High started. This is how we became enemies. Go ahead.
My face.
My chain?
Yeah, my chain. Make a chain.
Make a chain.
For the land is full of bloody crimes.
Wow. See? It ain't talking about Edom now. It's talking about us. Go ahead.
And the city is full of violence.
The city is full of violence.
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen.
Ooh.
And they shall possess their houses.
See, and this what we was talking about earlier. We were his enemies. He cursed us. We still cursed, but through Christ, we can be reconciled. Go ahead.
Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen.
I will bring the worst of the heathen. Amalek is the worst. And his family. Go ahead.
And they shall possess their houses.
Go ahead.
I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease.
See, he said they're going to possess our houses. What are the houses? We are the houses. The people. The land, of course. But possessing us, if you possess the children of Israel, boy, you can build a kingdom with them. All right? Come on.
I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and the holy places shall be defiled.
And the holy places shall be defiled. Now, that happened. Go ahead.
Destruction cometh.
Destruction cometh.
And they shall seek peace.
And see, we shall seek peace.
And there shall be none.
See, and there shall never be none. So every time they tell us something this is going to be good. This is going to work out. This is going to be great. Every time you hear that, when they talking about us, you best believe destruction coming. And you best believe there shall be no peace. Whenever you see anything concerning us, when it comes to the campaigns of this world, that's what I have to say now. I have to watch my tongue. Because the world governments are coming against people that they deem as threats that speak against their policies. So we have to be careful on YouTube now, on any platform, because they will come after you in the future. So I'm just going to say the campaigns of the nations. How about that? All right. The campaigns of the nations, whenever they say anything and they say they want to help you, Israel, or a low-level Gentile, hey, y'all better be careful. They ain't trying to help you. Especially when they talking about helping us. Don't deal with it. Stay away from it. All right, go ahead, my brother.
Verse 26.
Mischief
shall come upon mischief.
Mischief shall, hasn't that happened? Mischief, we're in it. We were his enemies. Mischief come upon mischief. All we see is mischief. Go ahead.
And rumor shall be upon rumor.
And rumor shall be upon rumors. Go ahead.
Then shall they seek a vision from the prophet.
And then you're going to seek a vision from all these people. And that's what we do. We're always looking for somebody to tell us something instead of seeing what's in front of us. All right, go ahead.
But the law shall perish from this priest.
The law shall perish from the priest. All right, go ahead.
And counsel from the ancients.
And counsel from the ancients. All right. So we will have no counsel from my elders. Like, that's true today. None of the elders are counseling anybody. People that are 60 and 50 years old, look at them. Look what they doing. They trying to be like us. And this was talking about the elders then, but what about now? This applies very, 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 very deep now. It was kind of on the layer back then. Oh, it's not a layer, but on the surface. Now it's deep. It's embedded in our people that all this stuff is true. Rumors. Seeking signs. All right. No law from the priests, the leaders. All right. The religious leaders. And then counsel from the ancient. We have none. We're going to stop right there, bro. We're going to go back to Romans. Yep.
Romans 5 and 11.
Go ahead.
And not only so, but we also joy in a higher through our
Read 10
Lord.
again, one more time.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
For if when we were enemies.
All right, so what we read earlier was about how we was the Most High's enemies, all right? And we just did a little summary instead of reading all of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. We ain't doing that. Go ahead.
We were reconciled to a higher by the death of his son.
Go ahead.
Much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life.
So we were reconciled by the blood of his son, so that got us away from those curses. Go ahead.
And not only so,
Mm-hmm.
but we also joy in a higher through our Lord Yeshua Christ, by whom we now have received the atonement.
So we have received what?
The atonement.
We have received the atonement, right? All right. So again, to my brothers and sisters in the churches, what does that mean? What is an atonement? How do you know what the atonement is if you do not go back and read the things we read in the Old Testament today? Why is the Old Testament not significant to you? It has to be for you to understand what you're reading. Now we know what the atonement is, and we know the history. We read some of the history on the atonement and on the Day of Atonement. And why are we, as a Christian-based nation, not keeping the Day of Atonement? But we're keeping Labor Day and all these other holidays. But we'll read this in Romans and be like, he's my atonement. And most of the time, we don't even know what the word atonement means. All right, keep going.
Verse 12.
We'll go to Romans 11:11 right quick.
Mm-hmm. Romans chapter 11, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? A higher forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles.
See, that's what it is. All right. Because when we were enemies, we failed. All right. We failed. But through through Christ's blood, we have another chance to be adopted back to the Father. All right, keep reading though.
I say then,
have
they stumbled that they should fall?
Mm-hmm.
A higher forbid.
Go ahead.
But rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles,
mm-hmm.
for to provoke them to jealousy.
Uh-huh.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them be the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness?
All right, so we're going to come back into our fullness. All right, because Christ had to take that first step and be our atonement. All right, just like today, like we're going to atone for our sins, and then we'll be replenished going forward into the next year. And I say next year, it'll take another year to get back to 364 days to get back to this one day. All right, this day is considered a new year as well, because we waited for the Day of Atonement. We waited for the first day of the year, which is in March, but we really was focusing on this day. If I can make it to the Day of Atonement, make it to day 7, month 7, day number 10, I'm good. That means that I still got some work to do on this earth. All right. All praises to a higher that we here. We ain't made it yet. We got to wait till tomorrow. That's why we got to stay still and keep it like a Sabbath. But we might go outside and boom. You might step out in the street and find a destination. So be careful now. All right. He said it's a Sabbath. So the angels going to be resting most likely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Yep. Verse 13.
Yeah, go back to
okay.
Yeah.
All right, verse Romans 5 and 12.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore, as by one man
mm-hmm.
sin entered into the world.
By what?
by one man sin entered into the world,
Talking about Adam. Go ahead.
and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men.
Death passed upon us, right? That malignant root. I can never say that. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
And so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
Mm-hmm.
For until the law, sin was in the world.
To what?
Until the law, sin was in the world.
Until the law, sin was in the world. Go ahead.
But sin is not imputed where there is no law.
So sin is not thought about where there is no law. So you can't have sin if you don't have no law. So that's the way the world is now. They're trying to make it where there's no law. There's nothing concerning the Most High's laws. So people are just running around here and they don't think they're doing anything wrong. All right. So this is the type of society that we're living in now. Go ahead.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses,
Mm-hmm.
even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression,
Go ahead.
who is the figure of him that was to come.
Go ahead. The figure of him that was to come, which is Christ. Go ahead.
But not as the offense.
But not as the offense.
So also is the free gift.
Not so also what?
So also is the free gift.
What free gift? Go ahead.
For if through the offense of one many be dead,
Through the offense of Adam, many be dead. Go ahead.
much more the grace of a higher,
Mm-hmm.
and the gift by grace.
The gift by who?
By grace.
By grace. So it's because of highest grace that we have this free gift. All right. We didn't do nothing for this. We do Christ. We ain't coming up. When we got here, Christ had already died. Check that out. When we got here, it was finished. We were just born into it. All right. That's one thing that we can be thankful for when it comes to the Most High. And all these things that we're supposed to go through, always remember that you got a free gift coming in. The best gift that you could ever receive. And that's the forgiveness of sins through Christ. The Messiah. Yeshua dying on that crucifix. All right, go ahead.
For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of a higher, and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Yeshua Christ, hath abounded unto many.
Have abounded unto many. Go ahead, one more verse.
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
And not as it was by one that sinned, so was the gift.
Read it again.
And not as it was by one that sinned.
Is it not by one that sinned? Because it tell you Christ didn't sin. All right. I want to go to Hebrews, but for the sake of time, we got to keep moving. Go ahead.
So is the gift.
So is the gift.
For the judgment was by one to condemnation.
It was for by one to condemnation, the atonement. All right. Christ was that atonement. Go ahead.
But the free gift is of many offenses unto justification.
So that free gift was a gift to so much sin, basically. That's what Paul is saying. Paul breaking this thing down. Go ahead.
For if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the free gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yeshua Christ.
Shall what?
Shall reign in life by one, Yeshua Christ.
So we shall reign in life by one, Yeshua Christ. All right. So basically, what this is saying, this helped us again to get away from the curses, and then we also had the opportunity through Christ to be adopted to the Father. And some of us, maybe not us, maybe our children, maybe our grandchildren, will be in the kingdom. All right. So if we teach our children the right way, we'll walk in as far as our blood, because we're a part of our children. Like our ancestors are in us as far as our DNA. All right, you look like this person, that person, that person. That's why it says when you're going to look in the book of Enoch, it tells us that, men are what? Not eternal. But through a man and a woman coming together, they live on. So I look like my grandfather. I look like my great-great-grandfather. I look like my grandfather that was at Mount Horeb, just like you do. All right. So yeah. So everybody gonna walk in, that was righteous. And the Most High allowed their seed to continue. All right. Oh yeah, my bro.
Yeah.
Talking heads off.
18.
Let's jump out of there and let's go to Corinthians right quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 18, verses 18 through 19. All right. Let me get there. Y'all can see my Bible. Like I'll be flipping, and I'll flip 500 pages.
You got
All right, here we go.
2 Corinthians 5 and 18.
Mhm.
And all things are of Ahiah.
All things are what?
Are of Ahiah.
Go ahead.
Who has reconciled us to himself by Yeshua Christ.
See, it's saying it again. Go ahead.
And has given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
So he gave us the ministry of reconciliation. That's the ministry. We're supposed to be out here teaching our people like, but you can be you under the curses, but you can get away from them if you follow Christ and do the will of what? His Father. And do what? Be baptized. And do what? And continue to do the will of the Father. And do what? And continue to follow Christ and try to be like him. He's our successor. All right. I keep saying it. I want to go read it. We gotta read. Let's go to Hebrews right quick. Hebrews chapter 2. I think verse 17. Let me see. Let me make sure, right? Let me make sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm going to say 17. Yeah.
What is it that we say is our successor? Yeah, it's 17. All right, go to go to read 17 right quick, and then come on down because it's gonna say it again. Reconcile. All right, atonement. Go ahead.
Hebrews 2 and 17.
Yeah.
Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren.
Like who? Like Israel. And come on.
That he might be a merciful and faithful high priest.
A merciful and faithful high priest. All right, go ahead.
In things pertaining to Ahiah.
Mm-hmm.
To make reconciliation for the sins of the people.
See, we read earlier, the high priest had to be what? Had to be clean to go up in there and deliver them kids, and to sacrifice the ram and bring the blood in there and all the rituals that they had to perform. That's why we have to know. My goodness. How do you know what this is talking about if you don't know what the Day of Atonement is and the importance of it? This is what we read. Christ did exactly what we read in Leviticus 16. This is what he wanted to do. Be like that faithful high priest that walked in without no sins. Go ahead.
For in that he himself had suffered, being tempted.
He was tempted like we all tempted. We've been tempted now because we still living. Even Christ was tempted with sin. Go ahead.
He is able to succor them that are tempted.
Succor them, which is a successor, right? He's our successor. That's what that word means. All right. So we can't say that we can't do it. Christ came in the flesh. All right. He was a man like me and you. He was not made like none of the angels. He wasn't a demigod. He had none of that. His daddy was Joseph. And his mother was Mary. Period. That's what the Bible say straight out in Matthew, the 1st chapter. All right. Let's go back. Let's not go too far into that. All right. Back to Corinthians right quick. Corinthians 5 and 18.
2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 18.
Yes, sir.
And all things are of Ahiah, who hath reconciled us to himself by Yeshua Christ.
All right, the creator of all things did that. That's what that's saying.
And hath given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
Thank you. The creator of all things have given us that. Go ahead.
To wit, that Ahiah was in Christ, reconciling the world unto himself.
Ooh.
Not imputing their trespasses unto them, and hath committed unto us the word of reconciliation.
The who?
The word of reconciliation.
That's what this is all about. Woo-hoo. The word of reconciliation. The word of atonement. All right, this right here, this Bible fixes stuff. It fixes stuff, y'all. The only power ever that want to fix stuff is Ahiah. All them other powers, especially ones on the earth, the fallen, they don't want to fix nothing. They are in their shame. All right. They don't want to atone for what they did. They should have just went on here and got their punishment. All right. Some of them were already punished, but you got to think they knew better. They were eternal. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
All right, we're good. We're gonna jump to where we're gonna go to. We're gonna go to Luke 24 right quick.
Yeah.
Luke 24. What time is it? Luke 24 verses 24. Luke 24 verses 45 through 48. Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead. You can read it.
Luke 24, 45. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And when Yeshua had cried with a loud voice, he said,
Say what?
And when Yeshua had cried with a loud voice, he said,
Go ahead.
Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit.
Oh, man.
And having said thus, he gave up the spirit.
He gave up the spirit.
Now, when the centurion saw what was done, he glorified Ahiah, saying, Certainly this was a righteous man.
Boy, that's a Gentile. Did a Gentile say that?
Look like, yeah.
What? What else did a Gentile say about Christ? All right, we got to keep reading though. We're gonna hit some stuff. Go ahead.
And all the people that came together to that sight, beholding the things which were done, smote their breasts and returned.
Smote what?
Smote their breasts and returned.
Smote their breasts and returned. So you had our people that did this, like they were what? They were tripping. We didn't understand what was before us. Those people, not all of Judea was doing this, but you had a lot of our people that were wicked because you know why? Christ was tearing them up, letting them know that they were wrong. They couldn't deal with it. And atonement comes with reproof. If we forget that, well, we can't do nothing. Because think about when Christ returns, that's all that's gonna be happening to you. You're gonna be like a child at home. You didn't do this right. You didn't do that right. You need to go back and do this. Are you gonna be able to deal with that? You're gonna have to. What you gonna do? You gonna tell your daddy to get out your face? Some people will, because they break that commandment, number 5. But you do that with the Most High. I mean, you do that with the Most High's son. But that's like trampling him underfoot. So you're gonna have to deal with him. All right, but let's continue. Talking heads off. All right, go back to 45.
Verse 45. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And when Yeshua had cried with a loud voice, he said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. And having said thus, he gave up the spirit. Now, when the centurion saw what was done, he glorified Ahiah, saying, Certainly this was a righteous man. And all the people that came together to that sight, beholding the things which were done, smote their breasts and returned.
Where you at, bro?
Oh, Luke 24. Oh.
I'm
said 24. I'm reading 23.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, I knew somewhere, right? All right, hold on now.
Luke 24 and 45.
All right, then good verse. I'm glad you brought that up. But but now we're talking about the ministry that Ahiah gave us. All right, and where it started. All right, so we read 45 for us right now.
Then opened he their understanding that they might understand the scriptures.
Talking about the disciples. Go ahead.
And said unto them, Thus it is written, and thus it behooved Yeshua to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day, and that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name.
Say what?
That repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name.
So Paul knew exactly what he was talking about. He had to get this from Peter or somebody because they were there. All right, go ahead.
Among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem.
Beginning at Jerusalem, right? Go ahead.
And ye are witnesses of these things.
And we are witnesses of these things. All right, speaking, Yeshua talking to the disciples, all right? And we are too, because we can read it. All right, we believe what we read, right? All right, so go to the book of Acts right quick. All right, 13, chapter 13, verses 37 and 39.
All right. Book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
But he, whom Ahiah raised again, saw no corruption.
See, he saw no corruption. Go ahead.
But be it known unto you, therefore, men and brethren, that through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins.
All right, the atonement. Go ahead.
And by him all that believe are justified from all things.
Wow.
From which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses.
See, we couldn't be justified by the law of Moses alone. We got to have Christ too. That's what they preaching right here. Who's ever teaching? I don't know if it's Paul, Peter. I don't know who's teaching right here off the top of my head. Paul is teaching it. All right. So we have to have Christ, not just the law of Moses. Keep going.
Verse 40.
Uh-huh.
Beware, therefore, lest that come upon you which is spoken of in the prophets. Behold, ye despisers.
Ye despisers.
And wonder and perish.
Mm-hmm.
For I work a work in your days, a work which ye shall in no wise believe, though a man declared unto you.
Oh, go back and read that one more time, my brother. Something just came out right there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
What did we read earlier? What did we read earlier?
What did we read?
What did the priest do? The priest sacrificed one goat, and he took another goat, and he was despised, and he was what? Sent off in what? To the wilderness to wander.
Yeah.
What? Read that one more time. Wow.
Behold, ye despisers, and wonder and perish. For I work a work in your days.
Wow.
A work which ye shall in no wise believe.
Wow.
Though a man declared unto you.
Though a man, so you're gonna be like that scapegoat. You're just gonna be out there walking.
Man. All
right, because you want to stay in your sin. All right, you don't want to change. So if you don't want to change and you don't want to get better or progress year after year, then that's what's gonna happen to us. All right, to all of us, because we all have to get better. All right, and with that being said, we're gonna leave it right there, y'all. I just hope that y'all have a blessed Day of Atonement tomorrow. And I just pray that y'all do what y'all supposed to do tomorrow. Please don't forget, especially if this is if you done this, several times now. All right, the Most High ain't gonna hold you guiltless. All right, you got to do what you have to do. Try your best to relax and reflect on the year. From last year's atonement to this year's atonement. All right. And if you need to make some phone calls, make some phone calls. Get it right. Get it right. All right. Shalom. Ahiah bless you. And we want to give all praises and glory to Ahiah. And we thank him for his son, Yeshaya.
Shalom.
Shalom.